What happened to her?
Dad?
On April 17th, the year's scariest movie arrives.
Let the mummification ritual begin.
Audiences are calling Lee Cronin's The Mummy glorious edge-of-your-seat horror, terrifying from beginning to end.
I really miss being a part of the family.
And an insanely scary ride. Lee Cronin's The Mummy. Only in theaters April 17th. Rated R. Under 17. Not admitted without parent.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the number to reach me this hour, 800-848-9222. The phone lines are open right now. I have never been big on vigilantes. Never been big on it. Never thought it was a great idea. Though I got to be good friends with Bernie Goetz. Folks, this is not Hollywood.
Now you boys put those guns down. Say what? Whoa, we're not just gonna let you walk out of here. Who's we, sucker? Smith and Wesson?
But something has to give. I fear we are on the verge, and my instincts are always razor sharp. I fear we are on the verge of someone somewhere striking back against crime. People can only take but so much. I'll get to the case in point in just a moment. The nut job that called himself Lucifer over the weekend, slashing 3 senior citizens, Grand Central Station over the weekend. But there is some good news, and I'm coming back to Bernie Goetz in just 1 second. And this is one of the reasons why I'm saying don't sleep on this guy and the race for New York governor, and that is Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman. Blakeman is vowing to immediately pardon the newly jailed NYPD cooler cop, if you will, Eric Duran, if he's elected governor in November, and it's the right thing to do. Duran, of course, sentenced to at least 3 years, 3 to 9, for throwing that cooler that killed a drug suspect in 2023. And Blakeman stating he doesn't belong behind bars. That is the obvious. So Bernie Goetz, I'm not big on vigilantes, but Bernie Goetz, you had this shooting that went international. Bernie's on the escape or on the loose, and he ends up in New Hampshire and so on. So I'm following all of this stuff, and then we basically come full circle. And I call Bernie. He invites me over to his house. I go to his house, and we have a great conversation. I'm not going to lie to you folks. The first thing I asked Bernie Goetz, I said, Bernie, did you shoot those kids because they were black? He said, no, I shot them because they robbed me and I feared for my life. And I believed him. But the relationship, and it's funny how life works, it got to be very interesting. At the time, I was living with my mother-in-law, my family. And a side story is that I love my mother-in-law. She's no longer alive, Ruby Stevens, but she was my gal. And so a senior citizen, and oftentimes when I wasn't home, I'd get back home and she'd say, Dominic, Bernie called you 3 times. They got to be on first name basis. So you have this elderly black woman in Harlem, and she's talking on the regular with Bernie Goetz. And then you also had the infamous cop shooter, Larry Davis, before he was killed in prison. He would call as well. So we would go from Bernie Goetz to Larry Davis, and they would have conversations with my mother-in-law, a regular woman, and she would pass on the message. Okay, so let's get to what happened over the weekend. I fear for a vigilante incident coming soon. People can only take but so much. Listen to part of this report from NBC.
Tonight, New York City's Grand Central Terminal, the scene of a bloody attack. Police say a man armed with this machete randomly slashed 3 people on 2 separate subway platforms Saturday morning. Police already at the station then confronted the man.
Was behaving erratically, repeatedly stating that he was Lucifer. The individual refused to comply with at least 20 orders to drop the knife.
When he began to walk towards the officers, still armed, one officer shot him twice, according to the NYPD. Officers attempted to resuscitate the suspect, but he was later taken to a hospital and pronounced dead. New York City Mayor Mamdani saying in a statement, the 3 victims were taken to the hospital and are thankfully in stable condition. The suspect identified as 44-year-old Anthony Griffin, who police say had 3 prior arrests, though they did not disclose for what crimes. It's just one of several shocking incidents on the transit system in recent years, from a man shoved in front of a moving train to a sleeping rider set on fire. But the NYPD says major crime is actually down 5% citywide for the first 3 months of the year, including the fewest murders in recorded history. This comes roughly 100 days into Mayor Mamdani's term, even as he pledges future policing reforms.
Right. Crime is down. And when Mamdani pledges future police reforms, what he really means is losing officers, disrespecting cops, treating them like they're less than, and treating the criminals with all due respect. That's the reform to come from this mayor. You cannot make this up. We're about to begin with your telephone calls momentarily, but folks, you have to understand this. And you really don't if you're just from New York and you haven't traveled. What's happening in the city is now worldwide news. In fact, international news. This from the Fox News Channel.
NYC trained bus robbers climbed 21% from the same period of last year, and it's only going to get worse, one expert is saying.
So what he's going to do, so what happens is when you retire as a cop or firefighter, they take the last year of your salary and they figure out what your pension's going to be for the rest of your life. So what a lot of people do, cops do, is they'll put in a lot of overtime the last couple of years.
Taking it right.
So they'll be working hard so they get that salary up. So you know what this guy's doing? I'm cutting overtime. So if you're up on 20 years, we love cops like they start at 20, at 40, you're in the prime of your life in law enforcement. If there's an incentive to stay, they usually stay. Right. You know? So now you're telling them, I have to retire because if you're cutting my overtime, my salary for the rest of my life is going to be less. So you stopped a 6,000 member cop class from going into the academy. Now you're stopping overtime.
Can't have both.
So now you're going to be watching diminishing law enforcement.
And another reason we need overtime for our cops. 3 elderly people were walking through Grand Central Station. They were slashed with a machete over the weekend. The guy was calling himself Lucifer. The cops tried to tell him to drop his huge knife, and he wouldn't do it, so they ended up killing him. As of April 5th, 128 muggings on trains and buses in 2026, 21% surge over the same period last year. Some say there aren't enough cops on the subways. That's another issue. 3 murders in transit so far this year. Misdemeanors up 12%. Petty larceny up 4%.
This is 2020 all over again.
And so this gentleman identified and called himself, as Lucifer. Well, go talk to Lucifer now. All right, Dominic, you shouldn't say that. A mentally ill man. No. I'm more concerned about you and I. You and I, any one of us could have been on those platforms minding our business, slashed. Next thing you know, you would cut with a machete. Think about that. So if you think you're Lucifer, go have daily conversations with Lucifer. Okay? Knock yourself out in the afterlife. So we'll get to Swalwell in just a moment. What a nice guy he is. 4, a minimum right now, 4 allegations of sexual misconduct. He's given up his race for governor. No, Swalwell, you're done. Put a fork in him. He's going to be voted out of Congress if we are lucky, expelled, that is. We'll get to that. Also, the funeral for the 7-month-old baby that was shot in Brooklyn. Her funeral. A lot to get to, but let's start with some of your telephone calls. Let's go to Kevin, line 4, Staten Island. Kevin, welcome to the Dominic Carter Show.
Hey, Dominic, I don't know if you know this, but Curtis is on in the morning, and he was talking about the same thing.
Right. You're the weakest link. Listen, I know 7% plants these telephone calls, but it's funny because Sid and I was just talking on Friday, going over the weekly ratings, and Sid is blowing him out by more than a double margin. Okay, I'm not going to mention the numbers. And folks, if you want to guarantee to be cut off on this show, mention 7%. You think you're being slick trying to promote his show, trying to use the high ratings of this show to promote a dead show. You can promote it every single phone call. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. And I'm not going to waste my time talking about a dead-end candidate for mayor who's now hosting a dead-end radio show and morning drive. Let's see here. Let's go. Let me deal with another winner here while I'm doing it. Let's go to Marco, line 1, New Jersey. Marco, how are you going to hate on Trump today?
Yeah, it's not about what he posted about the image of Christ, like him, like showing that. It's his lie, what he said, his answer that he didn't know, that he thought it was a doctor.
Hey, Marco, let me ask you a question. Marco, are you in a relationship? Marco?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, are you in a relationship?
For 30 years.
Marco, Are you in a relationship, Marco?
Yeah, with my wife. I have a relationship with
your wife. Okay, how long have you been married?
30 years. 33.
How in the world does your woman tolerate you? That's what I want to know.
Because she fears God. That's how. She's a God-fearing woman.
Okay, so go ahead. So you want you I don't know. You just pick things to hate on Trump, but you only make him more popular. And the people that are listening to you right now, I know you don't think that they believe you with this nonsense of what you're stating, but go ahead. I'll play your game for a few seconds.
All right, a few seconds. So you really don't think I've been married for 33 years?
Now, I didn't say that you've been married for 33 years, and I don't want to focus on that. I'm bored with your call now. You're done. I'm not focusing on whether you've been married for 33 years. I'm focusing on the fact that I can't see anybody being with you for more than 15 minutes. Because you make me want to kill myself, and I take your call for a few seconds. So that's what I'm talking about. Let's see here. Let's go quickly to Bill in Georgia. Bill, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. I want to talk about Iran quickly.
I got to take a break. Right? Get to the point.
Okay. With the blockade, if Iran sends a ship down, it's like 1,000 feet long with oil, how does the U.S. stop it? Do they take it out?
I couldn't hear fully, and I'm up against a hard break, Bill. I'm betting on Team Trump. They'll stop whatever they need to stop. I don't care what Iran says. They're a bunch of liars anyway. I believe what a bunch of liars and nuts. I believe what President Trump says, and I believe that this administration is going to get the job done. By the way, President Biden, you should call up Trump and say thank you for him doing what you and your homeboy Obama and others did not do. Time for a break. We're coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So you believe that Eric Swalwell will be kicked out of Congress this week?
I do, and I believe that Tony Gonzalez will be right behind him.
Democrats, a considerable portion, maybe like 100 Democrats would have to vote with Republicans, right, in order to do this?
Yes, and I don't see any way out of this. I mean, there's no way after the videos with the alleged hooker and prostitute and porn star coming out, the stories from his former employees and staff, women coming forward. There's no way out of this. If he wants any dignity, which he doesn't deserve any, he should resign. Otherwise, we will expel him. My understanding, a deal has been made that we will do Tony Gonzalez and Swalwell this week. I'm pushing for more.
And that is Congresswoman Nancy Mace of South Carolina. And bye-bye, Swalwell. Bye-bye. You're done. I guess he thought survival if he just dropped out of the governor's race. How could a guy like that be the front runner? But anyway, I guess he thought survival was possible in Congress, but it's not going to work in your case. You're the weakest link, and that's about it for you, Eric Swalwell. So I want to move now. Today, a sad day in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. The funeral for that 7-month-old baby that was shot in the head, and I still remember when the mother ran into a bodega to avoid the bullets, and she happened to look into the carriage and see the blood where her baby was shot. And that woman, the mother, she spoke to Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
She didn't deserve to die. She didn't deserve any of this. And I just wish that she was here, because I can't smell her. I can't kiss her. I can't hold her anymore. And she's just gone.
It happened in the blink of an eye. Newly obtained surveillance video by Eyewitness News shows a young family crossing the street in East Williamsburg, quickly ducking as a moped speeds by.
And I just wish I could have did more as a mom to protect them both. Because walking in the street and then that just happened and I didn't realize until I got into the store, it just killed me. And I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. I miss you so much.
It's absolutely heartbreaking. You can't even go into Chick-fil-A anymore in peace. The shooting over the weekend, 1 dead, 6 shot. This happened in Union Township, New Jersey. Police are looking for the gunman.
This Chick-fil-A has been closed to the public. The only people we've seen go inside are employees, and you may be able to see a small glance behind me, but there are some green cleaning trucks right behind me. And what you don't see is behind those trucks, we saw some people drop off some flowers and candles this morning. Some people just paying their respects. They say they don't know who the victims were in this shooting that happened over the weekend, but they're just really upset that this shooting happened so close to home. Now, police say that they believe this shooting is either gang or drug related. 1 person died, 6 other people are injured.
Folks, nobody wants to deal with the truth. Well, Dominic, you can't say these things. The fact of the matter is their mothers should have never had them. That's number one. I don't care what your position is on abortion. These mamas should have never had these little dirt bags in training. That's number one, because they grow up and you see what happened. Look at what happened at Chick-fil-A. You can't even go to a family restaurant anymore without these animals acting a fool, shooting up the place, shooting each other, shooting innocent bystanders. It doesn't matter. Children, whatever, it doesn't matter. They're in a bad mood, so they think they have a right to shoot the place up. Their mothers should have never had them. The school system, you look at these kids, you can look at the track record. From elementary on up, they were trouble from day one, and now we're all stuck dealing with it. Thank you very much, Biden and the Democrats.
The Dominic Carter Show, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Go ahead. Make my day.
So this is not Dirty Harry, but I am concerned. My instincts are razor sharp that we are headed down the road of someone striking back. People can only take but so much. I've always discouraged a vigilante act and will continue to do so. But it wouldn't surprise me if something happens relatively soon. And check out how this all goes down. If there's a vigilante act, live coverage, 24 hours a day, 25 satellite trucks, blah, 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 on and on and on, but you have somebody murdered or pushed in front of a train, it's like, And Mamdani doesn't show up to anything. Has he shown up once? Can you tell me one time? Has Mamdani showed up one time to visit a victim of crime? I don't think so. The only thing that comes to mind is he went to visit the man with paranoid schizophrenia after the man held a large knife and two cops walked into the doorway. They were forced to fire and shoot him. And fortunately, the man did not lose his life. Mamdani went to the hospital to visit him. I think those cops are still waiting for a visit from the mayor. I wouldn't hold my breath if I were you, any law enforcement officer. He just doesn't like you, period. And he doesn't even hide it. He doesn't hide. I don't even understand how this guy could walk into one police plaza with the police headquarters with a straight face. I'm looking at your Twitter, at my ex, Dominic Carter, here with you, 800-848-9222. We are going back to your telephone calls in a moment. John Beckman. John says, Dominic TV, about the vigilante subject. I was thinking about it, and I can tell you this. If anyone hurt any of my family, I sure as hell would take that person out if I had the opportunity. I would go to jail for life if need be. You are correct. When is enough? And the reason why I'm focusing on this is because of what happened in New York City over the weekend. 3 people minding their business, elderly, and here comes this nut job who identifies as Lucifer. And let me tell you this, folks, I kid you not. I've grown up with people like this all my life. And when we were little kids, you could tell that they were going down the path to amount to nothing. They came from parents that didn't give a damn about them. I'm not judging them on that because I didn't have a father in my life. I was raised by my grandmother, right? Because of my mother's mental illness. But these guys had all the answers in life. They had all the shortcuts in life until life knocked on the door and said, you're done, buddy. You just don't know it yet. And then they go down that path and everything spirals out of control. They blame everybody. It's not their fault. And then next thing you know, they're talking about their Lucifer. This from ABC7.
Chaos inside New York's Grand Central Terminal after a suspect allegedly stabbed several people.
The individual was armed with a large knife, described as a machete, and was behaving erratically, repeatedly stating that he was Lucifer.
Around 9:30 a.m., police say 44-year-old Anthony Griffin traveled to multiple subway platforms at one of the busiest transit stations in the world with this machete, slashing 3 people, a 65-year-old man, a 70-year-old woman, and an 84-year-old man, all suffering serious injuries but are expected to recover. Responding officers rushing to the scene.
They gave clear commands. They attempted to de-escalate. And when that threat did not stop, they took decisive action to stop it.
Griffin was shot twice and pronounced dead at a local hospital. The NYPD says this appears to be a random attack, and it comes as officers expand their patrols on New York subways.
And so how do you stop these things from happening? It's real simple. Look at what happened to Mr. Lucifer here, right? Police begged him to drop the machete. He didn't drop it. They were forced to use deadly force. That's how you stop these things. When one nut job to the next nut job looks and sees that they were killed, it'll stop. Until that happens, we're all vulnerable. It could happen to you. It could happen to me. It could happen to one of my family members. You're minding your business. Next thing you know, somebody slashed you with a machete, like you're in Haiti or some third world country. This is the world that we live in, folks. 800-848-9222. Rudy in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. You know, Rudy, I got a line 2. I got a little gripe with Harrisburg because I was there for a few months ago, delivered a speech, but I was in and out, and I didn't get an opportunity to really see anything in Harrisburg. And it seems like you got a great outdoorsman life there. But anyway, what's on your mind, Rudy?
I would like to thank you, Dominic, and I love your show. I love you, and I have you 3 o'clock into my alarm clock.
Oh, isn't that nice,
I know
Rudy?
at
Thank
that
you.
time I put the radio on, And I love that you keep it real and you give Marco and Ross a chance, even though they're haters. But I like that you stand up for all of us against those haters.
Well,
I love
thank
your show.
you.
God bless
thank
you.
Rudy.
And you
thank
are
you.
really
Rudy, how long you been in Harrisburg?
I have lived 25 years in Harrisburg. I grew up in Jersey City, New Jersey. I moved down here because Jersey City got crazy.
Yeah, I feel your pain. So, Rudy, tell me the next time I'm in Harrisburg to do a speech, and let's say I have a day for myself, what's something I should do? I like outdoor nature things, as long as I don't run into a bear. And I watched that movie on Netflix again last night, 3:00 in the morning, where the lion attacks. Anyway, as long as I run into a bear, a lion, or an alligator. The next time that I'm in Harrisburg, what should I do, Rudy? Outdoors thing.
City Island, you could watch a game there, baseball game in summertime. The Senators.
Really?
And
I thought you meant City Island in the Bronx. I was getting ready to say I'm at City Island all the time. But Rudy, thank you for the wonderful call. Okay, so a minor league baseball game. All right, I'll do that the next time I'm in Harrisburg, PA. Thank you for the wonderful call, Rudy, and the love going right back at you, man. Let's go to Harold, line 1 in Queens. Harold, what's on your mind?
Well, actually, I'm in Florida right now. Thanks for taking my call, Dominic.
Okay.
I'm at a crossroads. I'm a lifetime New Yorker, born, bred, worked 50 years, had in a small business which I owned, employed 6-8 guys. They took care of families through it. I started at 19. I bailed at 66. I pulled out. So here's the story. I bought this house in Florida, and I was on the fence. I had buyer's remorse. I got to tell you, a few months in, I don't have buyer's remorse anymore. I don't like what I see in New York. I want to leave this message to the mayor and the governor. Hope you're both listening. If I may, Mr. Carter, mayor, governor, I paid taxes for 50 years. You're losing me. I'm taking my property tax, my income tax, and I'm going to head south down I-95, just like you told me to do, Oakle. I'm heading south, down I-95, and I'm not going to look back. You're going to lose me, and Mayor, Governor, you're going to lose a lot more. Mr. Carter, thank you for your show. Thank you for telling the truth.
Hey, Harold, thank you for that wonderful call. And, man, you know, you would think that the governor and mayor would be kissing your rear end and rolling out a red carpet because you're the type of businessman that pays the bills. You said that you had your staffers and so on. And, of course, so it starts with you. You get out there and make the bacon, fry it up in the pan, and then your workers, they can feed their family. But now, as you just said, you're going to take this to Florida or somewhere else. It's nutsy. It's nutsy, whatever words you want to use for nuts, that describes what's going on in terms of taxes, high taxes, and the political situation in New York. Harold, thank you for the call to New Jersey, line 2, and John. John, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, you know, this is crazy. There's things that are in place for law enforcement officers that are retired to carry guns 24/7 in all 50 states, and it's sitting in Congress. They won't pass it. We retired doing our job like NYPD, and we're able to carry and protect people even while we're retired. But New Jersey has this sensitive areas law now that restricts even LEOSHA. It's called LEOSHA, Law Enforcement Officer Safety Act. It restricts retired police officers from still protecting the public.
So wait, you're referring to the shooting at the Chick-fil-A? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, I am.
And so how would that pertain? You believe that an off-duty officer could have got there first and neutralized the situation?
Well, I am an off-duty officer. I'm retired state trooper. And if I'm sitting at Chick-fil-A and I can legally carry my firearm...
Oh, that's right, if you're there having lunch or dinner. Right.
Yeah, right. I'm not going to sit there and let them shoot people up.
Right. Hey, John, I don't wish this on you because we don't want you to have to face I know you're retired, have to face a criminal trial, but I wish somebody like you was there when they walked in and started firing. And I really shouldn't say this, but I wish an officer like you or one like similar to you would have shot them in the face. Period. End of story. Neutralized. No dealing with this nonsense. This has got to stop with these criminals. I'll say again. Hey, John, thank you for the great call. And Dominic, you shouldn't say this. It's not appropriate. Their mamas should have had abortions. We should have never had to deal with this element. Period. Mommy should have did the right thing for society and said, my little Johnny is going to grow up to amount to nothing. I'm going to end this right now. I'm not going to make society. I'm not going to make you go through 21 years of welfare, food stamps, Medicaid to see my child grow up and be a straight up thug. Let's go to Gracie in Rockland County, line 1. Gracie, what's on your mind? How are you, Gracie?
I'm wonderful, Dominic. Listen, number one, to avoid alligators, don't go to Florida. That's something like.
Yeah, they don't like me, Gracie. The alligators don't like me. They don't like me.
Night was such an entertaining show. It was a masterpiece. Well, it was serious, and we had a lot of laughs. Wonderful. I hit a deer too between 3 and 2 on the Palisades. He just, this was in 205. You know how the flower...
They jump out on the Palisades. You got to be careful.
He jumped right on my car. Okay, that's the light stuff.
Wait, was there any damage to your car?
Oh, yes, it had to be towed away. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you know
sorry,
what?
Gracie.
One of the policemen, a policeman on the Palisades, so nice. He took me and Ron and the luggage because we were going to Newark Airport. But of course he couldn't take us to Newark Airport. But he took us to where we could get a taxi at the George Washington Bridge to Newark Airport. Wasn't that beautiful? I like policemen. Okay, now the serious stuff is this. I would like a reporter, but none of them are going to do it, to go to Mamdani and say, are you going to have those the police officers arrested who shot the guy that stabbed the 3 old people?
Right. No, these reporters, they don't have any cojones. They line up one after the other. Gracie, this is what I know for a fact. They line up one after another to say, Mr. Mayor, I'm on my knees. And they pucker up. How long you want us to kiss your rear side, Mr. Mayor? That's literally what happens. With this Mayor Mamdani. Hey, Gracie, before I let you go, so was that your Dominic Carter impersonation you just did there with Mamdani?
Pretty bad, but whatever. but Gracie, you know what, Dominic? If one of the reporters or their family got hurt, we'd see if they sing a different tune.
Right, then it's a different tune. They look at this guy. I've never seen anything like this. Gabe Pressman has to be turning over in his grave. The way that they suck and kiss Mamdani's backside. I mean, Gracie, thank you for the call. And so, folks, the reason why Gracie brought up hitting a deer is because Sandra from New Jersey called the Midnight Show. And Sandra was upset because she was driving. She hit a squirrel. She killed a squirrel in New York City. Sandra circled back and took the squirrel off the road. She didn't want the squirrel to get hit over and over and over and over and over again, and put the squirrel off to the side. And since then, Sandra, I've received 1 million calls about people that, I don't mean to laugh, that have hit deer or animals. Somebody said they hit a cow. I don't know how you hit a cow, but moo. Time for a break. We're coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative. On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts of the day. I love an elective leader that will give it to me straight. I can take whatever you have to say. Don't give me the bull. Don't lie to me. Don't try and protect my feelings. Just give it to me straight. Perfect example, President Trump even taking on Pope Leo.
He now says you owe Pope Leo an apology. Will you apologize?
No, I don't, because Pope Leo said things that are wrong. He was very much against what I'm doing with regard to Iran, and you cannot have a nuclear Iran. Pope Leo would not be happy with the end result. You have hundreds of millions of people dead, and it's not going to happen. So I can't. I think he's very weak on crime and other things. So I'm not. I mean, he went public. I'm just responding to Pope Leo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let's go back to your telephone calls. Let's go to Mike, line 1 in Pennsylvania. Mike, what's on your mind?
How you doing, Nick? I was listening to or seeing today the rally with Mamdani, and he did promise people, the word F for buses. Well, it ain't free, but it's going to be fast now. Not free, but fast. Another thing was this grocery store he's opening up in Harlem. It's going to open up in 1 year. In 1 year. So what that does is you get everybody charged up, and next year you won't see that store. They'll have something
Absolutely.
new.
Absolutely.
They do. They get charged up. What these kids got to realize is, go watch every fascist, socialist country. When the leader goes, he's got to escape the country. He's got to escape. Not like our leaders, they just go home. They gotta run out of the place because they're going to take their heads off. They don't see that. I don't know.
Right. They see free. And Mike, you make a great point. He talks about this grocery store in East Harlem for a year from now. And guess what happens between now and a year? Oh, I'm sorry, but blink, 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 blink. We're not going to have the grocery store. We'll have it another year from now. And you just dangle and dangle and dangle. Mike, thank you for the great call. Let's go to Paul on the Jersey Shore, line 5. Paul, what's on your mind?
I mean, I like them both, but I really like Alfredo the best.
Wait, hello? Okay, I don't know what happened there. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Salad or whatever. I don't know. Let's go to John in Deer Park, New York, line 2. John, what's on your mind?
Hey, what do you think's going to be the conversation at that funeral that child got shot when they were looking to kill the father? And the gang members are going to be around, and the family's going to wonder.
The gang members are not going to be around, because what happens in situations like this, the NYPD will be there and undercover units. The funeral already happened, and undercover units. That's an NYPD tactic at funerals. But what are you really trying to say, John? I'm short on time. Let's get to the point.
You think this family's having that they're trying to kill your husband or your baby mom, the father, and then the baby gets shot because of the father.
We have to fix this, folks, because I was an illegitimate child as well. And I guess, I kid you not, I really was programmed for success. I had an aunt, and she's on her last leg. And I would say, hi, Auntie, how are you? I'm fine. Your little boop, boop, boop is going to college. That's the way the conversation would go. So I was watching, John, an interview with the mother of this 7-month-old baby, laid to rest today. And this is what happens, and I'm short on time. She referred to him as my fiance because she's so embarrassed. But no, that's your baby daddy. Folks, America's heroes need your help now. Do good in their honor by donating $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers, and you can amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org. T2T.org. I'm back live at midnight.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Roger Stone here. Every day you wait, your money loses value, but gold and silver don't follow those same rules. American Sovereign Bullion gives you access to a nationwide wholesaler network, helping you secure aggressive pricing on real physical metals. Call 844-272-2428 now to get your free gold and silver guide to learn how to protect your wealth with physical gold and silver, delivered right to your door or with a gold IRA. Visit ASBgold.com. That's ASBgold.com for your free gold and silver guide today.
A text says, "You're on my mind." A bouquet from 1-800-Flowers says, "You're my everything." Heartfelt moments belong in the real world, not just your phone. For 50 years, 1-800-Flowers has helped millions of people make memories that'll last a lifetime with gifts they'll cherish forever. Their expertly curated arrangements and gift baskets ship nationwide with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't wait for the next big moment. Make it when you visit 1-800-Flowers.com/Spotify today. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/Spotify.